Hello internets, this is BoneCarlos coming to you live from Entombed Valley to bring you another StarCraft 2 commentary. Today we're going to be taking a look at the PvZ type matchup, and spawning as the Zerg is going to be veKtory. I do believe I have replayed one of veKtory's casts before. If not, apologies to all my millions and millions and millions of faithful followers and viewers. I know there aren't that many, but in my head, I am the top dog in the StarCraft 2 commentary. And enough about me. Let's go ahead and look over at the red Protoss. Spawning in the 3 o'clock position is Feelo, and he's doing the sensible thing, and which would be walling off against the Zerg. Now, this is Entombed Valley, and I have a love-hate relationship with this map, mainly because I either get crushed on this map, as was the case yesterday, where I did significant early damage to another Protoss, but he still managed to out-macro me and have about 3 to 4 more Colossus than I. They weren't hallucinated. I double-checked to make sure, and he just crushed me completely, even though I negated his 4-gate and expanded before him. He was just that much better than me. On the other hand, I do either that or I ended up just crushing my opponent. So, like I said, I have a love-hate relationship with this map. It is fairly easy to secure your natural and fairly easy to secure your third. And on top of that, there is a neat little expansion right here in between two maps, or one that's completely walled off by destructible rocks. So this is a quote-unquote long macro-heavy map, but as you know, StarCraft 2 is a game where anything and everything will happen, including a very long macro map on Steps of War, or a very short cheesy game on this map. So it's all very interesting to see. It all depends on the two players, and as you can see, the two players are doing everything so far is fairly standard. veKtory is just producing his expansion, his natural expansion, and both are fairly average on the APM. I do believe veKtory is min-masters around level 54. I believe last I checked, while Feelo is top 5, I believe top 3 in Diamond. So Feelo is very close to leaguing up, as it were, since he is playing Masters League level players already. And as you see, the single Zealot is going to go ahead and get ready to pop out, and Feelo just parking his probe there just to make sure there ain't kind of anything too crazy or cheeky shenanigans by veKtory, a la like a 9 or 11 pool, which I had the pleasure of facing not too long ago. And by pleasure I mean I hated it. It was terrible, but as you can see, it looks like Feelo actually scattered out, saw that the spawning pool isn't even done yet, so he just feels fairly safe, pulls that probe back, finally puts down this Zealot down into the hole position, and he is just going to go ahead and take it and say, this is mine, you cannot pass, as Gandalf is fond of saying. And look at this, we actually see a Stargate being put down by Feelo. Very interesting play. I love this kind of play. I still haven't completely refined this early Stargate build against Zerg quite yet. It's either a hit and miss. I either do enough damage to be able to put him back so far behind that I just steamroll him with a mix of Void Rays, Phoenixes, and Stalker's Zealot, or I just end up not doing enough damage and they just swarm me with about 30, Hydralisk, and then I just melt. So I'm interested to see what a high diamond level player is cooking up. It looks like right now he's just gearing up to take his natural expansion with 2 Zealots, and one of them is going to go ahead and move out, more than likely going to take this middle watchtower, but he's going to go ahead and run into a pack of Zerglings, and these 6 Zerglings are actually going to do a ton of damage. They get to surround. Feelo is trying to micro around, trying to get an advantage position, but no, as of right now I would have just moved and let him do as much damage as possible to this little Zergling swarm. And as you can see, this Zealot, there was a second Zealot as backup, and Feelo, this little probe is just caught out of his positioning. He is caught out in his front yard and takes a couple of nibbles, but he's okay. Runs back home, starts mining that mineral field. It looks like Feelo is actually going straight for the Void Ray tech. Very interesting play. I'm not sure. I don't even think veKtory has spotted this, so he knows exactly what's going on. Maybe, I'm not sure exactly how he was able to spot that exactly. It was built, and maybe it was more than likely this Overlord right here that spotted it completely, but he knows what's coming. More than likely going to go put down some Spore Crawlers ASAP, pulling out those extra queens. He does have an Evo Chamber on the way, and with these 2 queens on the field, 3 queens actually on the field of play, he's going to be able to hold off any kind of crazy shenanigans by these Void Rays in time for those Spore Crawlers to come up. And as you can see, Feelo is actually doing the sensible thing. We're going to go ahead and wall off his natural with more gateways And since it looks like Feelo does have a sense that veKtory did spot that starport, so he decided not to build anything else out of it. More than likely, it looks like Feelo is just going to go ahead and try to get veKtory to overcommit to the defense by pulling out extra queens, extra spore crawlers, and hopefully pulling out early Hydralisk while he directly counters that later on. So I'd like to see exactly what tech Feelo decides to bring in once that he sees that this Void Ray is pretty much just shut down. There is nothing else. I mean, there's a single Spore Crawler there and a couple of Queens as backup. This is enough defense to be able to hold on. I would say 2 or 3 Void Rays, honestly. As you can see, this little pack, Zergling is going to go ahead and run by and say, haha, catch me if you can, Void Ray. Ever since that little, Vein upgrade was taken away, you got nothing, and which is true. I feel sad for the Void Rays. They've really gotten nerfed a couple of times, and I don't think they should have done that to them, but then again, I am a pro cross player. What are you gonna do, right? As you can see, this little pack of Zerglings didn't really do much damage. I mean, he scouted out and saw that the expansion is underway, but a single Zergling would have been able to do that just fine. So a couple of Zerglings actually just killed unnecessarily. As you can see, the resources lost tab. We see that the initial Zealot was the only lost unit so far for Feelo, and it looks like this probe is gonna go ahead and go down as well. And so the resources tab is pretty much equal in both players, and we actually see a robotics facility going down for Feelo, so more than likely he's going to go ahead and go straight into Colossus, hopefully hoping that veKtory overcommits into his anti-air and churns out a ton of Hydralisks. But as you can see, veKtory is not amused, nor is he confused or caught off guard. He's just going to go ahead and go into Roach Tech, going to go into regular Zerg mode, and oh my god, look at the creep tumors. You see 4 creep tumors. This is gonna go ahead, this is gonna spread the creep so quickly for veKtory. He's gonna feel very confident once that gets to about mid-map. And as you see, this little Void Ray is just poking around, trying to do as much harassment as possible, but no such luck. I mean, this is a bunch of queens to be able to deal with right off the gate, and it looks like hallucination is being researched by Feelo, so I'm interested to see exactly what he decides to do, either use those hallucinated phoenixes to scout, or just part of his main army to be able to just absorb punishment where so his actual units don't take it. And we see Observer going down, nothing too crazy. Twilight Council is already done for Feelo, but decides not to build anything just yet. He actually decides to build a Blink and use Blink for those stalkers. Void Ray is still going to go ahead and try to poke around, trying to see if he could find any kind of opening in veKtory's defense, but so far no such luck. He's flying around on the creep, so veKtory knows exactly where he is at all times, and it looks like Feelo's going to spot these couple of roaches, maybe take a couple of pot shots, but decide, nope, you know what, I'm just going to go ahead and cruise on by. While veKtory is just, wow, that's a lot of spine crawlers right there. 3 already put down and 3 more on the way, and looks like Feelo does catch veKtory's 3rd expansion going down, and he's probably going to do a lot of damage. It probably is a little bit faster to just take down these destructive rocks rather than walk all around without creep. And it looks like veKtory might actually lose his hatchery. This is a lot of damage that this Void Ray is doing once fully charged, and I'm sure that veKtory knows what's going down and what's happening right here. And he does cancel in time, saves himself about 75 minerals, while Feelo just hangs around with his. Now it's unpowered. So he's going to go ahead and go on home, and actually that's actually a little bit of a win for Feelo. Anytime you could keep a Zerg player off of 3 bases is very, very good. But as you can see, veKtory just retakes it quite quickly, but no big deal. I mean, he delayed that. He delayed that expansion by about a good minute and a half. So always good, no matter how long you keep your opponent off of any kind of new expansion. That's always a win in my book. Those little Zerglings just hanging out near this pylon. Of course, these little trees just kind of block any vision. I'm sure if veKtory knew that this pylon was here, it would go down in a jiffy. And this queen is rumbling and tumbling right on it to its way, and it's gonna actually hang out here with. This is actually a very look. I guess the queen was just a little bit lonely, hanging out with the Zergling. Decided to just scout ahead and just hang out. I mean, nothing too bad about that. Feelo is just getting ready for any kind of Mutalisk harass, and the Mutalisk harass is on the way. Feelo is amply defended with these Blink Stalkers, but against these many Mutalisks, I'm interested to see exactly if he's able to hold this off. There's 11 right now. Blinks forward, takes down one Mutalisk, and they actually decide to head on home. He doesn't want to lose too many Mutalisks right off the bat. Doesn't look like he lost anything. I mean, 1 Mutalisk per probe. Not what you want to be doing if you are Zerg, and ooh, sentries are being warped in right here, right at the mid. Feelo sees these two units just hanging out out of position. He's gonna go ahead and take the free kill. Why not? While these roaches are just gonna go ahead and start nibbling away at these destructible rocks. But as of right now, it's in a very precarious position because these suckers are gonna go push forward, gonna try to take out this expansion while like about 30,000 spine crawlers are being put down, and a couple of force is actually gonna be able to block off any kind of reinforcements. So this is actually a very good position for Feelo. He could force field this area off, make sure that no units stream in, while at the same time force fielding units off while taking down at this expansion. All those spine crawlers are cancelled. veKtory decides to save his minerals, and ooh, Feelo is actually pushing forward into the mine field. That is those spine crawlers. He decides to pull back and take down this hatchery. A couple of more blasts will be able to pull it down if he actually is able to pick off the point. Focus fire on that hatchery, and he does successfully manage to take it down. The damage is done, so he's just going to go ahead and decide to go home. He's going to force field off. Force field off and make sure those broodlings don't cause any more damage. While veKtory says, you know what, that's fine, you killed my third expansion, I'll just retake another third. And wow, we actually see a bunch of observers on the field for Feelo, so great field of vision that Feelo has. And as of right now, we see a great amount of saturation, mainly due to the fact that this hatchery was taken down. And back home, Feelo decides to take his own dirt, while High Templar aren't on the field of play. Still no upgrades as of yet, just his initial level 1 upgrades for Feelo, while veKtory has, it looks like he doesn't even have any upgrades as of yet. So very interested to see this Mutila's attack goes forward. These suckers blink forward, try to do as much damage as possible, but that is still a lot of Mutilas. They are forced to turn back since his photon cannon does warp in and finish on time. And with this single High Templar, I mean, Cyanide Storm just got done, so he's going to be able to hold back this Mutila's force. That one High Templar is caught up in position, and two of them actually merge into Archon without letting off a single storm, so a bit of wasted energy right there on Feelo's part, but it's okay, since back at home we see in the production tab 2 more Mutilas are being put onto the field of play, while he already has 18 on the field. So I think the ones in production actually do count, so there are 18 going to be 18 pretty soon, while Feelo is just going ahead and just keep producing those Zealots. So it looks like he wants to transition into Zealot Archon, which is great up against a heavy Mutalisking Zerg player. Right now, both players are just macroing up, trying to get as much units as possible, while Feelo is actually going into, it looks like he's going into Colossus Tech. He knows extended thermal axe just yet. He actually puts it down right as I speak. Man, do I have some sort of sixth vision or what? And these Zerglings are just hanging out, enjoying the Chasm Valley Trench that is right in front of them. But we see the Mutilas just still flying around patrolling, while Feelo is doing his best to be able to just fortify his defenses, and he has it pretty well defended. He has a narrow choke right here, and one sentry will be able to hold just force field that off completely. And it looks like he's just going to go ahead and finish a wall off right here. So 3 basing Protoss versus a 4 basing Zerg player. And ooh, these Mutalists are actually going to do a ton of damage to these probes. I mean, Storm does go down right on top of his own High Templar, so very terrible. Just an overall bad psionic storm, but it does save unnecessary probe damage. And it looks like the Mutalists are just going to go ahead and bounce around, do as much damage as possible, taking out probes by the handful. Feelo is doing as much as possible to destroy himself by putting down just terrible psionic storm. He took down a bunch of probes in that encounter, and as you see, photon cannons are doing their job by defending Feelo's base. So veKtory is just going to push forward, do as much damage as possible, make sure he's out of range of those photon cannons. Stalkers are being warped in. veKtory sees this and decides to pull on back. So, oh man, if I was Feelo, I would definitely work on those psionic storms. Make sure you just do not kill your own units when you do so. And taking a look at the income tab, we see the harvester count is fairly even. I mean, Protoss does only have 63 harvesters, but before that initial attack by veKtory, it was, I'm sure Protoss had more, but as of right now, the income tab is fairly similar and fairly even for both players. So right now, it comes down to just pretty much micro. If any player can do just an attack that the other player is not ready for, and looks like, wow, check it out, that is a lot of Mutalisks. So there are 30 Mutalisks on the field of play right now. Feelo has a feeling that's going to come down, and this Warp Gate does go down. No chance for it. Feelo does bring forward these Stalkers, but this is not enough Stalkers to be able to handle this many Mutalisks. veKtory actually sees the reinforcement units kind of pushing forward, and a little bit of a switcheroo, gave him a slip, decided to pull back, push forward, and right now there is not much going down. Feelo actually blinks forward before that. Oh, that's a 1 HP Warp Gate. That is very awesome indeed. Oh, wow. Oh, man. So veKtory decides to head on home while at the same time, because he feels that Feelo is going to go ahead and push forward with his units while he takes his 4th. So right now just a bit of a precarious situation because nothing else is into production. I mean, level 2 attack for these Mutalisks are on the way, and that's going to make them that much more damaging. But right now, I would worry about this huge ball of enemy units that Feelo has been able to amass. He takes down veKtory's 4th, but at the same time, veKtory says, you know what, you take down my base, I'll take down yours. I'm going to go ahead and take down these photon cannons. So very nice counterattack. It looks like it's going to be a little bit of a base race situation going on. That Phoenix level 2 or +2 range upgrade does no good in this situation. I'm actually very amused that was Blizzard's response to, oh yeah, you're having problem with Mutalisks being able to counterattack you and just turning into a base race situation all the time. We're just going to go ahead and give Phoenix's +2 unit upgrades. I think a little bit of micro, you'll be able to take care of that. But as you can see, in vast majorities, Mutalisks just trounce anything that the Protoss has to counter it. And right now, let's take a look at the income tab. Actually, Harvester down about 20 of them. So that is just unfortunate for Feelo right now. He still has a healthy amount of minerals, and if all of these nexuses just churn out those probes, he'll be actually right up to where he was before. But as soon as Feelo just pushes forward and does any kind of aggressive attack, you could bet that veKtory is just going to go ahead and counter and just go straight for his base. And as you can see, it's happening yet again. Feelo is going to push forward, trying to do as much damage. These BoneCarlos are going to hold off his army while veKtory does his thing. I mean, he one-shots those Archons. He's going to take down this Nexus, and yet again, Feelo is forced to pull back, but not before this Nexus is destroyed. veKtory senses the kill is at hand. He pushes forward, taking down these pylons. He's going to go ahead and just assault this Nexus. Going to bring it down in about 4 to 5 volleys, and that is it for that Nexus. And it is just, oh, that is just all over. I mean, even if all these Stalkers got into the fray, veKtory could just fly around the edges of the map, pick anything off. He's probably going to spot this expansion, but decides to push forward, take down 2 Colossi in the process. That is just fine and dandy for veKtory. He's going to push forward. He notices the blink, decides to pull back right now. And right now, veKtory says, you know, that's fine. I got you up against the ropes. I'm just going to go ahead and let you know that my army is here while I just go ahead and re-expand and re-macro. So right now, just a very precarious situation. Once the units are pulled back, veKtory is going to push forward, take down probes. He's going to suffer he didn't even suffer a single Mutalisk loss in that push, and he's going to go ahead and scan around for just a bit, and he's going to spot this, says, a free expansion perhaps? Nope, actually, this Stalker's actually cut him off. Finally, he's forced into an engagement, but as you can see, storms are actually being put down, so that was actually a very good storm. Caught most of these Mutalisks right in the mouth, and veKtory decides that is a lot of damage I'm taking. I'm going to pull back, and wow, so there you go. It's always great to see a Zerg player get his comeuppance, but again, a swell of new Mutalisks is in the fray, and it's going to go ahead and just continue that harassment, push forward, take down as much as possible. See, oh, you're building this Nexus? I'm just going to go ahead and destroy it. I'm just going to go ahead and hang around in your base to destroy whatever I can. And he's still trying to catch this Mutalisk ball, and I would have gone into just a straight base race situation a long time ago. More than likely would have lost, but I would have just done it a long time ago. He does have a nice surplus of minerals. A bunch of Stalkers and Zealots would have been able to make mincemeat out of veKtory's base, but he's still deciding to pull back. He's in disarray right now, and these warped-in Stalkers are caught completely off guard, destroyed before they even fire off a single shot. And Feelo's Stalker count is getting dangerously low right now. He doesn't have that many. He only has 14 Stalkers right now, while veKtory still has 32 Mutalisks. So that is just not enough Stalkers to be able to deal with this many Mutalisks. He needs those Archons. He needs to be able to force engagement. But of course, veKtory is not going to do anything of the sort. He's just going to go ahead and just play catch or catch me if you can with Feelo while just noticing. He's just going to go ahead and keep doing this all game long, and that's just the danger of the Zerg that goes Mutalisk. Even if you do have Blink Stalker, it's very just difficult to be able to catch and pin him down, and veKtory does his damage, pulls back. So right now he's just doing just small little cuts, just little dabs here and there, and just producing a nice swarm of Zerglings to take down these pylons right here in the middle. Feelo does spot this, tries to go ahead and take them out, and those Zealots do go down very quickly for those Zerglings. But again, here come the Mutalisks yet again to push in when Feelo pushes out. These two warp gates are going to go down. This army is not going to be able to catch it in time. Pylons going down. This entire infrastructure of the Protoss base is being demolished. And again, veKtory just decides not to commit, and he sees those stalkers, he pulls back. A storm does go down, takes down quite a bit of Mutalisks and brings them down to quite low health. But still, again, he just pulls back, goes where the army isn't, and pushes forward, takes down another gateway. So, and as you can see, I think Dark Templar are on the field for Feelo, so a very interesting opportunity. That you don't wanna face me, that's fine. I'll just go ahead and send out Ninja Assassins into your base. And as you can see right now, there isn't that many minerals in veKtory's third base. His main is almost mined out, as is his natural. So the only bases that he has left up and running are these. He sees that he sees that DTs are on the field, and more than likely going to put down a single spore crawler right there to be able to defend against any kind of DT harass. But right now, veKtory is just going forward, marching forward to victory, going to just push it out and take out as many Nexus as possible. Or he's just going to go ahead and decide to just keep scattering around, spots these single photon cannons, and they are down in one volley. He spots this Nexus right here, easy for the picking. Just going to pummel it down, and more than likely going to stick around until it is completely destroyed. He destroys it, sees that the Protoss army is on the field and ready for action, and decides to fly away. And he does spot this fifth base of Feelo, decides to attack again, and the income tab, and 17 harvesters are left for Feelo. This is just a terrible, terrible positioning that Feelo is in. I mean, these Colossus are there, but they really can't shoot up. So looks like the DT harass is continuing by Feelo, so both players are just going to go ahead and do a base race kind of situation. veKtory is down. I mean, he does have 79 harvesters, but he is long distance mining right now, while Feelo only has about 12 left. So very interesting to see what's going to happen in this game. This game is just turned into a nice tactical type of game and just devolved into just a brawl and just a straight bar fight. And let's just go ahead and see which player decides to give up first, while Feelo just continues to walk into the Cynex farm that he does pull down, put down in his wake. It looks like veKtory is going to go ahead and try to finish off these similars. Not decides, you know, I'm just going to walk by and make sure there's no other bases in the area. And this base is spotted. It is going to go down. So right now there is only one Nexi left for Feelo, and very interesting to see since he is out of minerals. Wow. So in the income tab, we see 0 minerals being put down, 160 Bespin gas being mined. So I'm not sure why he's building this gateway here. He has really no other choice, but he's still just continuing to chase around this Mutalisk army, while at the same time veKtory is just re-expanding and re-macroing up. Overseer Cocoon is down to make sure that no DTs kind of sneak into any kind of cheekiness or anything like that. I'm interested to see if there is any Dark Templar left on the field of play. Nope, it looks like he morphed them into Archons, or they just died in while I was launching. So veKtory continuing the harassment, just poking around, taking down anything and everything that he possibly can. Takes out that cybernetic score yet again, while the single Nexus is being put down by Feelo right in the middle of the base. And it looks like Feelo decided to say, you know what, forget this, I am done trying to chase you around. I'm just going to push forward and see what's what. And with a couple of Archons and this many Stalkers, I don't think that they're going to be able to destroy this Mutalisk army if it comes down to a one-on-one fight. And it will come down to the High Templar and see if they're able to put down perfect Psionic Storms. And Feelo is being revealed, so there isn't any more bases. It's going to be a very interesting base race for both players, but it's probably going to go into veKtory's favor since he does have these four extractors right over here, completely far away from the main army. And again, Feelo decides to pull back yet again to try to deal with this Mutalisk army. And right now, this is just too big of a Mutalisk swarm brood, and Feelo leaves the game. So that was a frustration that can mount when playing up against a Mutalisk Zerg player. Not much to say other than damn it. Damn it, damn it, damn it. That is very frustrating. I have been caught in this position before myself, and like I can attest that it is very frustrating. So other than that, I hope you guys enjoyed. If not, leave a comment down below on what I could do to make these more enjoyable for you. If you got a replay that you'd like for me to do of yourself, leave a link to one of the major replaying sites in the comment section, and I'll go ahead and see what I can do. Other than that, I'm going to get on out of here, and I'm just going to get on out of here.